my name is Emily McCoy, and I am a certified school librarian. And I'm excited today to show you a little bit about how the library is organized. So first of all, a library, I love this quote, a library is a miracle, a place where you can learn just about anything for free, a place where your mind can come alive. I don't know about you, but when I have started reading a really incredible book, it's as if my whole mind just opens up, and it's the most incredible feeling in the world. And that's one of the things I love about being a librarian. So I hope that as you open up your library and you have students come in, that they can feel the magic and the miracle that books can provide them. So the library is organized into 3 different sections. The first one is fiction. So fiction books are stories that are made up or untrue. It is often called literature, and it describes imaginary events and people. These are books that are longer and usually contain multiple chapters, and they're often for more advanced readers. It could also be based on historical events, but that with fictional characters intermixed. And their spine label might look like this bookshelf on the left. So you'll notice it says FIC, and you can't see the whole spine, but the word fiction would be spelled out, and then the author's last name would be right below it. So number 2, we have the everyone books. This is actually my favorite section of the library. I'm a very artistic person, and I love the everyone books. These are also fiction books, but they are often long and skinny, and they are books that everyone can read. So their reading level is at a perfect spot. So that means that anyone can virtually read them. And if it's a young reader that's in kindergarten or first grade, often just looking at the pictures is something magical for them. They are usually mostly illustrated. So they are completely done as a picture book. They mostly have pictures on them with just a few words, and their spine label might look like so on the shelf to the left. So you'll see that it's EVE for everyone. So you would have the word everyone and then the author's last name right below it. And that's what the spine label would be. Number 3, you have the nonfiction books. So these are books about real and factual people, places, and things. And so this is the real life stuff. So if you're reading a book on whales, then it would be true facts about whales and where they live, what oceans they swim in, factual facts about whales. So the interesting thing about this one is nonfiction. You can see that there's actually 3 different words. So you have NON for nonfiction, and then you'll notice that there's A and I right below it. Let me explain what those are. So nonfiction, because there are so many different categories that nonfiction are, I recommend breaking the nonfiction up into sections. So you have the nonfiction as a collection, and then you also want to divide them up by sections. So these are some examples of possible sections that you could have in your library. Psychology, the study of the mind, religion, social sciences. So this could be anything from government to how people manage their money. It could be customs, things that happen in the military, basically anything that happens to people socially as a science. And then you have languages, You've got science as a section, arts, history and geography, and math. So as you can see here on the left, we've got NON for nonfiction, and then the REL would be religion. And then you've got the author's last name. You'll also notice on the second shelf, you've got NON for nonfiction, art, for ART for art. So if one nonfiction section gets too big, you can actually divide it up into smaller sections. So for example, in science, you could break up the science section into animals, physics, chemistry, weather and natural disasters, reptiles and amphibians, earth science, plants, and astronomy. So those are some examples of smaller sections that you could divide the science section up into. And you'll notice that the spine label is NON for nonfiction, and then PHY for physics, or NON for nonfiction, CHE for chemistry, and then the author's last name. So those are some examples of that. Now, when it comes to putting them back on the shelf, you're going to first put them back by the collection. So you'll put it in the everyone section, or the fiction section, or the nonfiction section. And then you would put it away. If it's a nonfiction book, you would put it away by its section. So this is an example up here on the first row of the everyone section in alphabetical order. Because secondly, you want to alphabetize it by author and the author's last name. Then you have, on the second row, you have an example of nonfiction history section in alphabetical order. So you've got nonfiction, history, and then the author's last name. And you'll notice that I alphabetized them by the author's last name. And then here at the bottom, you've got an example of the fiction section, alphabetized by author, and I apologize that my face is covering part of that up. So when it comes to finding answers in books, Google can bring you back 100,000 answers, but a librarian can bring you back the right one, by Neil Gaiman. So I highly recommend that you ask a librarian instead of asking a search engine like Google. So that is a little bit about the different sections of the library. If you have any questions, you're welcome to message me on Facebook, and I look forward to hearing from you, and make it a great day.